间公主 HFP 3
Wang Yibo Baili Hongyi's role is special. A genius boy versus a slightly autistic child. When from Luoyang has been broadcast until now, and the discussion on the internet is very loud. Among them, the role of Wang Yibo Baili Hongyi is the most controversial. The most common complaint made by some people is that Wang Yibo's acting skills have not improved. The emotional ups and downs are not obvious. It is simply the appearance of facial paralyzed face. I don't know if the person who said these words is actually watching a show. Do you really understand the play and the setting of each character? He was originally a young man, but he suffered a sudden change overnight. The grandpa in the family is the official book, the third grade of official residence, even if he does not have a substantive official position. But it was a young man from a family in Luoyang City. He is an idiot who has not experienced the world and has not experienced the impermanence of the world. This can be felt purely on top of his favorite technique. From the unprovoked informants come to the door, Invisibly led to a major conspiracy. Then he was forced to marry his wife forcibly, and then on the night of the wedding, Grandpa was brutally poisoned. Major life experiences and changes in a moment. Before he had time to prepare, he forced him to grow instantly. He can follow his own heart to confront Grandpa. If he says he doesn't want to get married, he can also please Grandpa. Unwillingly go to Liu's house to welcome his relatives. So when we got married in worship, even those who watch the excitement can feel Baili Xiaolangjun's unhappy look. Even when others asked him, he said the most sincere words in his heart. He is a person who will not hide his emotions, but sometimes the expression of emotions is very difficult. The point that netizens complain about the most is when they learn that their grandpa passed away. Is his reaction too flat? Shouldn't it be a cry? But it is such a psychological change that is the most difficult to show. I used to be a young master who loves and shelters, and does not need to do anything by himself. To have to accept some facts that he can't change. So at that moment he was stunned, even unable to understand why it was so suddenly. When Gao Bingju told him that if he wants to know the truth of Grandpa's death, he needs to investigate it himself. Perhaps he has grown a little at that moment. Grandpa's departure was the initial touch to the growth of the character of Baili Hongyi. This is a role that needs to be slowly opened up, and it is also a role that slowly grows. Genius boy versus mild autistic child. The reason why these two more extreme and opposite words are placed on the role of Baili Hongyi fits well. This is a complex but simple character. The complication is that it can always reveal some indifferent attitudes and opinions inadvertently. Like a wise man who has been around for a long time, there will be a set of own laws in dealing with everything. Maybe he always lives in his own world. In current terms, it's a little bit of autism. It is not so mature or good at dealing with the outside world. But for the things he loves, those like Baguan graphic are extremely talented. And his purity also lies in the truth and straightness of the emotions of the outside world. Maybe this is what others say. The purity in the eyes and the initial sentence adequate is acceptable. All of them indicate that this character needs to grow. He is indifferent and stubborn, he does not care for fame and fortune, and he is not well versed in the world. But he has the innocent arrogance in his bones, personality, and it can be said that there are some incompatible with normal people. But such people are also loved by those around them. He is like a piece of uncut jade that needs to be polished to radiate his original brilliance, but standing there can't ignore his existence. The role of Baili Hongyi is not like Gao Bingju, a mature person who has gone through vicissitudes of life. These are two extremely opposite sets of characters with a tacit understanding. The difference between Lan Wangji and Baili Hongyi. Of course, some people compare the role of Wang Yibo with the previous Lan Wangji, said it was another face with facial paralysis. In fact, none of these two characters have facial paralysis at all. The former is to abide by etiquette, know the world and not the world. The latter is ignorant of the world, so not so. In comparison, the latter's heart of wood and stone is more obvious. The role of Lan Wangji is more tolerant, but the role of Baili Hongyi needs growth. It's not expressionless, it's not dull and dull. There is only a little bit, layer by layer, slowly analyzing. Only by slowly revealing can he transform from a small wise man of Baili into a real person. When the actor's emotions cannot be released outside, all small changes will be difficult to grasp. So this role is his challenge, which is a bright spot and a difficult point. Be more patient, more tolerant, and watch the plot behind.